Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to swap out some batteries. So the 800 series 5-ton has its batteries down here under the passenger door. It's down under this step here, you can see here. What you have is two battery drawers. So you've got a couple of catches that I've already removed here that hold the step in place, one on each side. And we're going to pick up the step and remove it. And that's what we have underneath. So I've converted mine to run on a pair of bus batteries. I just found them easier to get at a local hardware store. I know they've got conversions for Optimum batteries as well. I just chose not to because the price was kind of limiting on that one. So what you do from here, you're going to disconnect the cables, obviously. And in my case, I redid the tie downs to match these batteries. So I've got 4 bolts holding this down, one in each corner. On this right side here, I guess the left side if you're standing on the step, but I've removed the 4 tie down bolts on this side. This one I haven't done yet. So what you do with these, in order to get the batteries out, you're going to pull up on these handles. And once you have those up, you can pull the whole battery drawer out. I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. So, now when you're going to remove the batteries, you need to pull these trays out. Obviously there's not enough space in here to get the battery out. So what we're going to do, grab onto these handles, pull them up to disengage the pins, and just slide it back. Obviously I've still got my cabling connected to it, so I'm not going to pull it out all the way. But this allows you to pull it out far enough that you can lift the battery up and out. So, now I've got both battery trays pulled fully out and the tie-down brackets disconnected. Obviously you can see I've got the cabling off the batteries as well. So we're just going to lift these out of here. So the bus batteries are a little bit on the heavy side. Obviously the military ones, being 4 of them instead of 2, would be a bit lighter. Let's see if we can get this out of here. So that's one down. So this is what you have in here. I'll clean this out before I put the new battery back in. But you can see it's just a tray, lets it sit on there. Albeit I didn't even realize I left those other tie downs in the middle. We'll take those out too. These obviously don't need to be here. Now we'll get those cleaned out and removed as well. But we'll drop a new battery in there, one on the other side, and see if we can get it started. Welcome back. Here we are. Got a couple new batteries here. These things are just massive. So we're going to drop these into the 5-ton over here. Sorry it's rained a bit. And I still need to do a little cleanup work in here before I drop these in. But we'll slide these out and get things cleaned up, get ready to put some batteries in there. So we're in. I'm going to have to move them around a little bit, but I'm going to put these tie downs in place. Then we'll see about connecting the cabling to it. There we are. Okay, so put some nuts on here. It is centered where I want it to be. Obviously you want to keep your posts far enough away from the metal and make sure that they're covered up when you're doing this. Obviously this one over here isn't, but because the ground is, I shouldn't be able to make a connection when I'm putting in that support. So we'll get this tied down, get the other one done, and start working on the electrical. Well, I've got the batteries tied down. You can see we've got the two tie down points in place. Everything's tight. I've pushed the two drawers back in most of the way. They're not quite on their tabs yet, but I wanted to make it easier to connect the electrical. So when we're reconnecting this, I've got a couple of extra features on here that weren't part of the truck originally. So this number 2 red wire here supplies 12 volts to a voltage inverter up on the under the hood. Then down here we got our primary positive. Here is our first battery negative. So you can see these two here. This will connect the negative terminal of battery 1 to the positive terminal of battery 2. That's how these end up in series. So that gives us the 24 running volts necessary for this unit. And then here's our primary ground. Pull that up a bit. There we go. There's our primary ground. So I'll clean these up a little bit, but this one will then provide 24 volts to the rest of the system. Up underneath here, I've got a military unit for allowing 12 and 24 volt outputs. That's what all of this is down here. You can see. I'm going to tie wrap that back in place so it doesn't cause me trouble. But that also connects to the solar panel up on top of the hood. Try to keep a little extra trickle charge on this. It works great, but I've got the truck pointed with the hood north, and with the box I've got and the cover that's currently sitting on it, it doesn't work quite as well as I would have liked. So we're just going to start reconnecting these, and I'm leaving the terminals covered until I get to them. So I'm going to put on positive first and then just work my way across. So once I connect this one, this will provide 12 volts to the system. So if you're worried about that, you can always connect the two positives first and then come back and connect this first negative. In my case, I know there's nothing that could potentially short out up there, so I'm not worried about connecting that first. But anyway, we'll get started. So remember, when you're putting these on, to tap them down. So I'll grab a hammer and lock that one down a little bit. Always make sure that when you have some kind of a tie down on here that you've got plenty of room between your positive clamp and any kind of metal that could be around it. Alright, we've got everything reconnected. So over here you can see this is your primary positive cable going to the starter up on the engine. Here's your positive, your primary negative, sorry. And here in the middle is our interconnect cable providing 24 volts. So before I finish sliding these back in place and doing a little cleanup work here, I'm going to check up inside the cab and see what our power's like. So I'll take you with me and let's see what we have. Let's get these off of here. I think I'm going to start the engine. There we go. All right. Okay, step one. This is a voltage indicator that's connected to that military piece I showed you down next to the fender there. Let's see what we have. According to that, we got no power. Well, hopefully it's not quite as bad as it appears. Let's see what we got over here. That's promising. Neutral. Okay, let's give this another try. I've got a battery charger hooked up on the other side. Let's see what we got. All right, we've been on the charger for a little while. Let's see what we got in here, huh? Well, we've at least got a response on it this time. That's a plus. Okay, let's see what we have. Not enough. All right, let's give this another try, shall we? I've had her on charge for a while now. There we go. That ought to work. Give it a little extra boost. Okay. Let's give it another try, shall we? Sorry for the noise. love to see that somewhere closer to 80. We have a little work to do. Well, there will be some upcoming videos about getting everything soundproofed as much as I can. Obviously a little bit's been done already, but we'll see how much further we can get. Alright, I'm going to leave this run for a little while, just get it moving again. It hasn't run in about 5 years, so we'll see how it goes. I'll see you over the next horizon.